and went in, did the stunt audition, and a few weeks later found out I got the part. So that was for a film called Central Intelligence that was filmed in Boston with Kevin Hart and The Rock. And yeah, it was my first time doing anything like that, auditioning, being on set, and fortunate enough that I had that amazing opportunity. Spent 3 days on set there and was fighting The Rock, which was, I guess, a childhood dream I never knew I had. Picking a fight with Kevin Hart and getting beat up by The Rock. So it was an amazing experience, and that was the first experience that really catapulted the acting career that has existed since then.
So a few questions. First thing, you grew up watching The Rock, as you said. Were you starstruck getting to not just meet him and see him, but like you're acting with him, right? What was that experience for
Yeah,
you?
it was more don't screw this thing up, right? So I didn't really have time to be starstruck because I was like, don't flub your lines, don't mess up, trying to keep know exactly what I was supposed to do for the fight scene. So definitely embraced the moment and enjoyed the fact, when he gives you an eyebrow raise and you're looking straight across from him, that's pretty surreal. But it was more don't screw this thing up, and pretty funny story is that the first part of the fight scene, I throw a right hook and he blocks it. Right. I don't know if you can see this, but he blocks it with his hand.
Uh-huh.
So we did like 100 takes total across, 5 hours or 7 hours that day. And some of them were with a stunt double, some were with him. And meanwhile, you can't fake this, right? So I'm throwing what's supposed to look like a full speed punch, which means they got to throw a full speed block. So I take about 100 hits onto the arm. And by the end of the night, my arm is absolutely throbbing. And I'm like,
Oh
I
my
don't know
gosh.
if I could do any more of these. Hey, someone get me some Advil. Can someone get me something for this? Like, I don't want The Rock to hear this, but I need some Advil over here because this thing is throbbing if I'm going to get through the night. A few days later, my arm was entirely purple. But that
Oh
was
my
like
god.
my first intro into the acting world was fake getting beat up, but actually taking some pain from it, which was funny.
Being someone who's gotten to see, I mean, so many people are curious about The Rock. I mean, he's such a huge celebrity and has fans all over the world and everything he's done in WWE and football and business of sports and everything. Just getting to be with him acting. What can you maybe say about just the way he approached the craft and maybe did you take anything from that as well?
Yeah, I would say two things that stood out. One was how genuine he really was. I mean, I myself and the other guys who were in that scene are down here and he's all the way up there in our industry, right? In that industry. And he took the time to get to know everybody's name, ask us questions, just to have small talk when now, this many years later, I've been fortunate to be in a lot of those situations. And a lot of those higher type of actors won't take that time. They won't care if someone's only there for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. They're just going to get the job done and be out of there. And he really genuinely took interest in us and had conversations with us, which was really cool. The other thing is he's just such a professional. I mean, he's so detail oriented, such a professional. He walked in and he had not been taught the choreography for the fight yet. And obviously, this goes back to his wrestling days, which I'm sure it's a new fight every night, and you have to memorize the choreography in 10 minutes. But he walks in, the stunt director's like, "All right, Dwayne, you're going to do this, boom, 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 smack the guy's head in the table, catch the gun, walk out." And he's like, "Okay." Then he did it the first time, so he nailed it the first try. So yeah, I
Oh
mean,
wow.
those are the big first two takeaways: just how genuine of a guy he was, and how professional he really was, and a master of his craft.
Has there been anyone else you've been kind of starstruck to get to be around or to be in a cast with? I know you mentioned Kevin Hart. I know you've been in a film with Jason Bateman as well, and a number of other people. Apart from The Rock, has there been really anyone that's you're kind of like, oh wow, like I'm in this thing with this person, this woman, this man? Has there been anything like that?
I wouldn't say starstruck. There's been some really cool people I've been fortunate enough to work with. I worked with Jake Gyllenhaal for 7 weeks in a film called Stronger. I
Mhm.
was in a film with Leonardo DiCaprio in a scene with him. So there's been some really amazing people I've been fortunate enough to have the opportunity to act with. But it's like football, right? If you're the wide receiver and you walk into Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady's locker room, You can't be like, oh my God, it's Patrick Mahomes. It's like, no, you have to go run your route, have a great route, and catch the football, even though he's the
Yeah.
one in the huddle telling you what to do, right? It's you have to be focused on your job and your task and get the job done. And obviously have fun doing it and appreciate the experience and be a student too, right? If you get the opportunity to be in front of a Jake Gyllenhaal or a Patrick Mahomes and you're the backup quarterback or you're the wide receiver, take as much out of that opportunity and that experience as you can and learn from it and try to grow from it. Just really embrace that moment.